Oh, lads, welcome back to another Brother to Brother chat, episode 4.2. Reason it's 4.2 is because I already tried to film episode 4 yesterday morning and, got my coffee prepped. I was really, feeling it and all that. Got my coffee down, all the fruits. Bro, you should have been there. It was a whole platter. And I was like, alright, let's get started. 30 minutes, 30 to 35 minutes straight off the dome, as usual, off the dome. And I go walk around when I finish. I'm like super proud of myself. I'm like, yeah, that was the best. Like the mission, the message I put out. I'm so happy with that. I go to check my phone and it wasn't recording. Tragic, absolutely tragic, man. We even tried to redo it after, but it didn't hit the same. So I thought, okay, I'm just leave it as it is and start again fresh the next day. So here we are, episode 4, officially. Episode 4. Got the apple and no coffee because we're heading into the night time now. We got nice hot cup of tea. Oh, that's cinnamon. First bite. Mm, mm. So yeah. And I always start these videos with virtually nothing to talk about. I kid you not, guys. I come in here and my mind is blank. Nothing to talk about. But as we get into the flow, as I get into the flow of things, I sit down here, have my first sip, always first sip, it comes. And I'm watching some of these videos back, guys, and I'm low key like really surprised with the way I'm able to articulate some of these ideas. I never used to be like this. Yeah, I did a couple of speeches back in school, but for the vast majority of the time, I never used to be that person that was able to communicate my ideas really well. I was really, it's kind of plays on the note I want to get to in terms of I was a big chronic overthinker back in the day. Like, I would overthink everything. There'd be times that I'd be sleeping, looking at my ceiling, contemplating life. Literally, you know, what am I doing? Is the path I'm heading towards actually going to get me to my goal? What if I'm doing anything wrong? Like, all these self doubts. I used to always overthink myself, bro. Um, and yeah, so I'm even looking back at some of these videos, which the small amount of you guys are watching are absolutely loving, which is awesome to hear. And I'm getting surprised every single time. The way I'm able to articulate ideas is seriously something that I didn't expect that I'd be able to do that well. But we're getting better. With practice, we're getting better. And, you know, even if I don't want to, even if I don't feel like it, I like to put myself in these situations where I am forced to perform. You know, like right now, I'm tired. The last thing I want to do is, you know, talk a lot. But I thought, let's build this habit. Let's get in front of you guys, build this habit over time, and we're going to get better and better and better at it. And throughout the process, get to help you guys out too. But man, we are we were a huge overthinker back in the day. This time last year, probably, I was contemplating my whole life. Every decision I make, I'm always in my own head. And part of how I actually got over that was speaking to my cousin. My cousin's like, I consider him a role model. And I was having a chat to him. And I was like, man, like, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. Like, I don't know whether I should do this or this. And I spoke to him on the phone. He told me a story. He's like, there's a rabbit and a horse. And the horse is trying to find its way back home. But it's a super cloudy day, super foggy. The horse can't see shit. And it's panicking. It's like, oh, I don't know where to go. I can't see where I'm going. I don't know what to do. And the rabbit, who was obviously a bit more wiser than the horse, was like, can you see your next step? Horse was like, yeah, I can. So the very answer is take it. Take it. Just take your next step. And the very moment I focused on, okay, what is my next step? And taking that step, focusing all my attention into putting one foot in front of the other, I found myself at my goal without the stress. I found myself moving closer towards where I wanted to be, right? So I think the big thing is just focus on putting one foot in front of the other. My problem was I always used to look at level 100 and stress about level 100 when I was at level 1. Right? Like instead of doing that, when I started focusing on getting from level 1 to level 2, then when I got to level 2, focus on getting from level 2 to level 3, right? Focus on putting one foot in front of the other steadily and going from there is what changed everything, bro. Like I was stressing about, how am I going to be a millionaire? But at the end of the day, all I needed to focus on was how to get from 5 students to 10 students in my tutoring business. Once I did that, then I focused on how to get to 20 students. Through that, we grew exponentially in medical school as a business, right? So that's what I'd tell my younger self. Focus on putting one foot in front of the other. And I'm all for setting goals. I'm all for that. But the times where I've been really hyper focused on the outcome, the goal, were times where I've been the least happy in my life, believe it or not. You know, part of the joy is actually doing the thing, becoming fully immersed in the process. So set a goal for sure, like know where you're heading. But after that, completely forget the goal exists. Completely forget the goal even exists, guys. And focus, draw all your attention into the process, getting after every single day. At the end of the day, man, this overthinking thing, anything that's actually going to drive the needle forward, and I've said this so much times, is action. All right, as scary as it seems, just put one foot in front of the other. Focus on going from level 1 to level 2, then level 2 to level 3. You know, um, I used to be so anxious about the future, man. I wasn't one of the people to be anxious about the past. I know some people are like, really big on like, overthinking the past. I'm more of overthinking the future kind of guy, right? And every single day I'd overthink everything. I'd be like, am I doing anything correctly? So I'd really dwell on things, and I would take really long between the time that I had a thought and the time I acted on it. Right? And what I did was shorten that time horizon. That's all I did. Instead of trying to like think my way out of that, and like we said, thinking doesn't really do much. I just shortened the time horizon between me having an idea, me having a thought, and me executing on it. Like starting that touring business, that was literally organized and executed on within the day that I actually had the idea. Literally, right? So the quicker you can be between having an idea and executing on that, the shorter that you have to overthink shit, right? The faster you're actually gonna get results, bro. And man, it's probably the same with getting my physique, right? Like if I thought really hard about, whether I'd have enough time to do this or whether I could actually sustain my diet right now, if I overthought all these things, I probably wouldn't have got started. I would have had so much barriers that I thought were stacked up against me that it would stop me from even making that first step and actually getting in the gym, getting started. That's really the power of like, you know, shortening that time horizon between you having a thought and taking that action on it, man. So powerful. I was talking to a friend the other day. He was like, bro, I'm doing this business, man. I'm just struggling to do this. And like, I just don't really know where I'm going. And I told him, I was like, bro, like everyone's trying to figure it out, man. There's 2 rules that I follow. And the first is play the game every single day. Because if you are consistent every single day and you're playing the game every single day, not every day is going to be your best day, right? And be okay with that, man. Like, when I beat myself up for having a shit day or unproductive day, I tend it takes me on that downward spiral where I have a rut for weeks, months, right? So instead, like I learned to be a bit more forgiving of myself, just be like, okay, today we didn't get too much done, and that's all right, right? As long as we play the game each day, you can't lose. And that brings me to rule two, and that's stay in the game, right? Like the aim of the game most of the time, guys, is to stay in the game, right? And I feel like it's those people that can stay in the game and play the game each day. That's how you win. That's how you win. So, that's what we're trying to do out here. Me personally, I love the game of business, man. Like, I've never been the guy to try to conform to a system or like, to play someone else's rules. Me personally, I really don't like that. I think I know where I've gotten that trait because I can remember as a kid, for my birthday, like from like 5 years old all the way to like 15 years old, I'd asked for Lego. Like, so my mom would go out and buy these Lego sets for me. And like the deep, like the OG Star Wars Lego packs, or like the pirate ships and those like cars and stuff, like those really good ones, right? So I'd play with them. My mom would buy these for me, and I'd spend my whole birthday making the Lego set. But then afterwards, after a day or two comes past, and I play with them, I get bored of them, and I break them all and build something new, right? And by the end of my like 5 to 10 year childhood, I ended up having a huge box of dismembered Lego bricks that I'd use to build something new each and every time. That's me. Like, that's my personality in a nutshell. I like to create things, right? I don't like to follow rules, follow someone else's blueprint. I create the blueprint. I love that. I absolutely love creating things from scratch, and I think that's kind of what brought me to the game of business, because you get to create a service or product that you put out into the real world and is going to make a real impact into other people's life. So, yeah, like I guess that's what's really brought me into business, and now even like content creation. Like, again, goes back to creating. Like, I'm creating things. So I knew my goal. Like, I knew I always wanted to do that. I always wanted to start something, innovate something, create something that other people would eventually use as well, right? And yeah, it brought me to the game of fitness coaching, um, and we'll see where it takes me. You know. I don't think I've told anyone this yet, but between me and you, bro, the self improvement journey, that grind, it's a lonely journey, bro. Like, people say it's lonely at the top, but it's lonely getting to the top. It's lonely climbing to the top too. It's just lonely in general. When you're trying to be exceptional, you have to be the exception, right? But I've recently come into the realization that I genuinely don't want it to be that way. I don't want to build this alone. Like, I don't want to do it alone. I want to build with brothers, bro. Like, I want a community. I want a group of like-minded guys that think like me, that strive to do their absolute best, just like me. Like, I love that. I think it goes back to the time I've been most happy in my life has been that. I was living in Thailand with my cousin. We'd wake up, go train together, sauna, ice bath, go eat nutritious meal, come back, train some more, sleep. That brotherhood, with a few other blokes as well. So that was like the happiest period of my life. I spent a month in Thailand back then, and it was very simple. But I was working my business as well during that time too. Very simple. I'm not like a mansion, decked out kind of guy. I'm more of a village in Dagestan kind of guy. Like, I just want peace of mind. You know, community, brothers, a mission, and we go fight for it every single day, right? Like, I want a mission. That's what drives me as a guy, right? So, recently I've had kind of the epiphany that, like, what if I didn't do this alone? What if I built a community, a brotherhood around me that made me not do this, made the journey to the top not feel so lonely, right? I think it's possible. With the power of the internet and the power of all these things, you can connect with people just like you. And recently, my mission has been to create a community so great that everyone inside it is winning, that everyone inside it is moving towards their goal, becoming the most undeniable version of themselves. Genuinely, that is what I live for, man. So, big things to come, just between me and you, man. I haven't announced this to anyone yet. You're going to be the first to see it, bro. But I want to build a community of driven, ambitious guys because I want to prove that it's not lonely at the top, that you can have fun with brothers and you can grow together, you know? So much nowadays is just like monk mode. It's like idolized. It's like, I'm going monk mode. But trust me, it's nowhere near as fun as war mode, fighting for that mission, going after it and getting it, and doing it with a community, with a group, building together, building something cool with others. You know, I know it's just a matter of when I'm gonna make it big. Like I have that confidence in my heart, and I'm sure there's so much guys out there that think the same way as me. Like it's not a matter of if it happens; it's a matter of when it happens. Yeah, and they're just putting in the work every single day and grinding, and there's no results yet, but they know it's gonna come eventually. They know they're gonna get the win, and it's so lonely. It's so lonely, but we mask that. We're like, it's okay. We swallow that feeling and we keep going every single fucking day. I don't think it has to be like that. You know, me and you, bro, we could connect. 1 plus 1 isn't 2. 1 plus 1 is 11, bro. Right? So, I truly believe in that. And I think there's nothing more rewarding than fighting for a mission with brothers. Right? That's everything to me. So, that's what I want to build. And at the center of that, it's getting in peak shape, peak physical shape. Because, like I say, you can't live life to its fullest if your health is suffering. What was I thinking, bro? Back in the day when I was like, stressing about becoming a millionaire, bro. Like, it's some people waste so much energy on that. And like they see these people online, 16 years old, 17 years old, making like, 100K a month or whatever it may be. And they like compare themselves to like the top 0.0000001% of our population. Be like, why am I not there yet, bro? Stop comparing with other people. Like, I was such a victim of this. It makes you so depressed because you're like, why am I not there? Like, why am I not there yet? Like, what's wrong with me right now? I can do this. There's no way that this guy can do it and I can't do it. It was like a big, like, kind of like inner rage that I was like, damn, you know, why has this not happened to me? I'm putting all this work in and nothing's happening. And these guys, like, they're literally driving supercars, doing all their thing. But, bro, stop focusing on level 100, bro. You're at level 1. Focus on getting from level 1 to level 2, right? Instead of going, like, wishing that you were 100K per month. Just focus on getting from 1K per month to 2K per month. Focus on getting your 5 GPA to a 6 GPA, right? Like, focus on the little steps to get you to your goal, right? Don't dwell on the goal too much, man. Like, set the goal and then just forget it exists, bro. Focus on getting from level 1 to level 2, right? Because, even as well, like getting from level 1 to level 2 is a prerequisite before you get to level 3 and so on, right? They all chain together. They make sense in that sequence because, like in a video game, you get from level 1 to level 2, you level up, you get the XP from going to 1 to 2 to upgrade your character, to buy new weapons, to upgrade all that, so you are prepared for level 3. Does that make sense, bro? I hope that makes sense. So don't try to accelerate the process. Don't try to speed up your path, you know, trust in God's timing. When I realized this, I felt so free, you know, when I stopped trying to make it happen myself and just submitted myself to God's timing. There's nothing more freeing than that, bro. Let go. When I let go of my expectation and I focused my attention into becoming the man who makes my goal happen, that's when everything changed. Right? Like I think a lot of people they think they need to have the thing they want so they can start acting like the person who has the thing. But they don't realize that like to get the thing in the first place, you have to become the guy who makes that thing happen. Otherwise you would never get the thing. It's like saying, oh, like when I have a Ferrari, then I'll start acting like a millionaire. It's like, no, the fact you acted like a millionaire was the way, like that's why you have the Ferrari. You need to develop yourself. Like that's why I think self-growth, self-improvement, like that's huge. And it's like so wishy-washy nowadays. People are like, oh, self-improvement mindset. Like it's so like um eel, you know? But it really is everything, you know? The reason you don't have the things you want is because of your mindset, like, or because of who you are, right? Like, there are gaps there that is stopping you from getting to that next level. So, like in the video game, you need to focus on building your character, becoming the man who makes that thing happen, right? Rather than desiring the thing and not focusing on becoming the guy. Because at the end of the day, what's easier? You know, forcing yourself to do the things when you aren't that person, or to become that person such that doing the things required are just an effortless part of your life. You know, I'll just take getting jacked, for example, like, you know, getting your dream physique. If you don't identify as the person who goes to the gym, eats clean, then it's going to be very difficult for you to do those things on a consistent basis. This is where nowadays we come up with the motivation, discipline, David Goggins, do it because you know, discipline is doing something because you don't want to do it and you do it anyway. But there's an easier way. On the other side of that, it's becoming the person who goes to the gym each day, becoming the person who eats clean, does all these things, such that hitting the gym, eating like you're meant to, is just an effortless process. Like for me, I've never had to rely on discipline to actually get the work done. I've never had to rely on discipline, and that's why I don't believe in it. It's so much easier to be the guy that makes it happen. Focus on becoming the guy, and then everything else will flow from that. Because you're not going to ever get the thing if you aren't the person who achieves the thing, right? I think people, they've got the order of things wrong. They think they have to, you know, when they have the thing, then they'll start acting like the person who has the thing. But you have to start acting, you have to be the person before you start acting like that person, and then you will have the thing that that person has. Rather than chasing the thing that you want without becoming the person who actually does the things that gets you there. Riddle me that. But yeah, hope that makes sense. But yeah, focus on building that character, man. And I don't think it has to be like, I don't think you should do that alone. It's so much easier to triangulate yourself with people who have done it too, is on the same path as you. Like that is so powerful, man. So that's why I'm like so set on building this community out. You know, getting other like-minded guys on the same mission, growing ourselves business-wise, you know, growing ourselves health-wise, physique-wise. That is everything, man. You know, and maybe I could learn a few things from you too. I'm not there yet when it comes to the business, right? I'm not there yet, you know. So, but you know, I want to build with other guys. You know, I love that sense of community, and yeah, we're gonna make it happen. The brother to brother chat today. You know, we're a bit slow on the mic, I reckon. You know, I don't think this was I'm low-key a bit tired, so yeah, maybe this wasn't as engaging, high energy as the other videos. But nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed. Jab the Chad out.